Willkommen, benvindo, and welcome to Celeritas. We are here for Division 1, our very first race proper in this championship for Division 1. We cannot wait to get going, but just to say hi to everybody, everybody in the lobby. Hi to everyone watching live. Do let me know what you think of the coverage as we go. I'll be watching along on the live YouTube channel. I can keep an eye on 2 screens at once, but not 3. I'm not quite that good just yet. My name's Webbo. I'm here as your solo commentator tonight, and we, like I say, we cannot wait to get started on our first race for our top division. We had some great racing last night. We have our two league owners in the race today, racing for different teams, Dawidek and Storm, who you heard on commentary and the team reveal earlier in the week. Dawidek a lot quieter, but I'm sure no less intense when it comes to the racing. We're just getting everybody ready. It looks like everyone's in a good position, and it comes to signal status, and we're getting ready to go now. We've got some people live on the stream already. Reminder to subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, share the hype video, share it around. It's in everyone's interest to get as much eyes on the YouTube channel as we possibly can. So if you've got a Twitter handle, you've got Twitch, you've got YouTube, as well as broadcasting your own streams, give us a good shout and make sure that we're all getting our racing out there to the ether. So tonight, race 1. A lot of the drivers will have raced in previous races in different servers, and many of them were with us last week for our Shakedown preview event. We also have, I believe, AKM Laden will be racing tonight after some incidents that, to my eye at least, didn't look like his fault in Division 2 yesterday. We've had a couple of late entries today, but I'll take you through the drivers very soon once everybody is confirmed. We've definitely got 20. I think we've got 20 drivers in the lobby already. And if you are tuning in to the live stream, reminder there that last night we trialed having some post-race interviews. We're going to give preference to anybody finishing on the podium, as you'd expect, and then in later weeks maybe the championship leader. But if you do choose to join us, and we'd love to hear you, make sure that you are a friend with me, WebboRed5, on PSN, and I will start a party and include you. But if you do tune in with us, make sure to check the options for party settings so that your audio is shared out to the party. Otherwise, it's just a solo chat with me and everyone just hears my questions. We did have that last night, unfortunately, but I still enjoyed it, and I tried to give a little summary of what we'd heard from our race winner yesterday. Anyone joining us on the stream, I say hi to everybody. And as last week, as last night, it's the same track. We're going for the same setup in terms of race distance and qualifying. The weather is dynamic though, so yesterday in quali we did see rain towards the end of qualifying, which I think ruined most people's plans for a last fast lap. I think it always pays to get a good solid banker as early as you possibly can, especially on the Brazilian track. We're really we're nearing getting going now. We've got all drivers in the lobby. As I say, let me know if you're watching along. If you want to record your footage and submit it into the Discord, please do. Clips would be useful rather than having to pour through everything else. But we're going to try and make sure that we get race highlights. And as well as just the live stream from my perspective. If you see something and you're watching along and I should be paying attention to it on the screen, let me know. and I'll try my best to follow along. So today is the first race, so we don't have any kind of any championship standings just yet, but we do have Shorspen and Storm in the Red Bull. Shorspen had a great drive yesterday and a great drive last Saturday, so I would imagine everyone's eyes are on Shores. We've got 30 seconds to the countdown, so as an introduction, in the Williams we've got Bajejo and Cohen. Again, Cohen was driving with us last night. We've got JXW in the Haas, joined by, let me just wait and see, Stefano. So welcome to you guys. We have Shenda, who was our pole sitter for the shakedown last week, in the Ferrari, joined by Lankovas. I haven't seen Lankovas racing just yet, but I hope we'll enjoy it. I'll run through the rest of the order as the cars are getting their setups put on. A reminder, do get your setup put on before you head out on the pits. We did have at least one driver yesterday begin with the default setting, I think, and somewhat regretted it. Hi to Adam joining us on live stream. There's been a lot of chat coming up to the start of this first race, and we did see a number of first lap incidents and incidents off the start line, so do give each other lots of space as you get going. You can't win the race on the first lap, but you definitely can lose it. So it does pay to keep your distance and be patient. It's a decent length race, 36 laps. There's plenty of time to make up lost ground. Track limits are strict. The penalties were racking up over the previous two races. So again, just be mindful of that. Just going back through the order, then we have Thod Eon Thod. Let me know in the Renault, joined by Beetle, Dawidek, as I mentioned before, in a Mercedes with FedEx runner, a late entry. We have Ninja Turtle Rafa. I might just go with Rafa for you. And our driver of the day from the shakedown was Glider Scoop. Then we have Lightning and Waitsy. Hi to you guys. We have Quineth, our shakedown race winner, and Jesse in the Force India. So I'm going to get on track. We're going to get started. Let's just get everything set up and ready. On board with Thod, Eon Thod, I'm guessing. Glider Scoop has retired already, and Thod is running wide. I want to check in. Let's have a look at who's on a good lap. Renault just warming up the tyres, as is, I'm assuming, there is that Quineth. So let's join Quineth then on his first attacking lap. He's the first one on track, so we'll get a good view into the Senna S's. Late first apex. I can show tyres. Thanks for the reminder there, Pricey. Yes, I'll get there just in a second. So good stuff. A nice early start from Quineth here. Through Ferradura. Very smooth start to the lap. So this will be our banker lap. This will be our first benchmark to watch. Maybe slightly wide there. So we've got some good grip, so obviously good downforce for Quineth. That will help him with traction. will help him under braking, but perhaps not the long drag up the hill. Dawidek pops in our first fastest lap, followed by JXW, and Gwyneth comes in second place, nearly half a second behind Dawidek, but a good first banker. I'm anticipating the lap times to tumble pretty quickly. Let's join with Stefano. Stefano on his outlap right now. Thod has put in a second place. FedEx runner showing good strength for our Mercedes drivers. Very, very close between third and fourth. Let's follow along with Stefano on his lap. Coming up behind One Blood, but I think One Blood is also on a fast lap, so he won't be ready to jump out there. Yes, he will. Fantastic. Okay, good stuff for our runners. Jesse has just put in pole. Jesse has put in a significantly faster pole, and that was good enough for pole in our shakedown event. So a really good marker from Jesse as for his earliest banker. Stefano into sector 2 now. Oh, a big sideways moment on traction. That's never going to help. We have Shenda putting in a very, very competitive time on the medium tyres. So there's definitely a split strategy option we're seeing. This is a very loose on the way on corner exit. Typically here from Stefano across the lap, but he's coming up to take the line, and we'll see where that first banker gets him. Stefano pops in a 107.8, so good enough for 11th place in those medium tyres. I think perhaps we need a little bit more warming going on, and yes, really struggling with rear traction even on the cool down lap. Let's see Storm, how Storm's time's looking. We'll get an idea as he approaches sector 2 times. All seems quite calm in that Red Bull cockpit, but that is going to compromise him from the Ferrari. That was not an expected track position from the Ferrari. Storm roaring up the hill now in the Red Bull. Going to hug that time, going to hug that wall. No, he's going to come in. He wasn't happy. Some more adjustments to make perhaps. Check out Beetle. Beetle in the Renault. He's got a very strong teammate in Thod. Very strong teammate. Lap time, so good benchmark. A reminder to everyone, of course, the cars are equalised, so there is no difference in the car activity and performance level. Where does this see Beetle? Beetle pops in 5th place. Some very, very close times. A good performance. That's a great banker for him. Really, really good. So we've got Dawidek back on track. Just letting Shenda go. Shenda still on his outlap. As are most of our drivers at the moment. I know Beetle's heading in now. I think Shenda might be our frontmost running second lap driver. Hopefully everything's up to temperature and Shenda is ready to go. Lots of talk in the Discord about how much of a threat Shenda can be when he doesn't have a mechanical on the first lap, as in the shakedown event, sadly. Very smooth, very tight, really good grip there coming out of Cover del Sol. Screaming up the back straight. This is very, very neat and tidy. Nothing spectacular, but we don't want spectacular for a fast lap. Through Ferradura, holding 6th gear there. Minor little adjustment, but yeah, a very nice rhythm. Very good times for him so far. There's a lot of cars on track, but they're all being very generous with getting out of his way. This is smooth. This is very, very nice sector 2 time. Let's see if he can get that traction and maintain that 6/10 of an improvement that will see him tumble down the times. Can he get closer to the front with Schender coming up the hill. Yes, he does pop in a second place time. Really, really smooth, really, really good first time. Let's see what Jesse has got as a response. I didn't catch his first sector time. I was just behind on the first sector time, but it is, oh dear me, not good there. It did seem as if we lost it as we were passing that slower driver. That's a shame. I'll stay with Thod for now. Thod has put in the fastest first sector, so a very promising start to the lap. Let's hope he hasn't taken too much out of the tyres. Little distraction. Hopefully that was a nicely timed overtake. Letting the engine do the work there through the bank turn into Pico di Pato. Very gentle on the throttle, very patient and smooth delivery. That does look like someone with a pedal. There's a yellow light flashing, but I think he's safe to carry on. And that was very, very close. Let's hope it didn't break his concentration, because here comes Thod up the hill. Where's this going to put him? He doesn't make a change. It was very slightly under, but it wasn't enough to take second place. We'll follow FedEx runner in the AlphaTauri now, but no, I think this is somebody cruising. Let's carry on then and go down the field. How's Stewart been doing? I've been following him. Hasn't perhaps had the best of qualifyings in the warm-up events, but he is a terrific racer. Very, very aggressive and super consistent with his race pace. We'll pop down to Dawidek. We haven't watched him along yet. Again, in the AlphaTauri, teammate with our 4th place currently driver. We're well over halfway through. He's got Shaw's ahead of him, but Shaw's is going to step out the way, and that's good driving, good aware driving there to check your 6. Dawidek looking for strong traction out of the final turn. That looks pretty good. Nice wide line on the way through, taking everything out of the track, using the banking perhaps. This is a much wider line than I see from most other drivers. Where's this going to put Dawidek as he goes through? He's very close to losing this time with those trips across the apex. Good enough right now. This is a shade over, only a 10th over in his first sector. We'll stay with Dawidek, but we'll be heading back towards the front pretty soon with Jesse on an outlap already. Dawidek, I think he'll be safe from the car in front as long as he's on a fast lap. I think that's Stefano, right? Stefano has hit the dirt. That's very distracting, and a little lock-up almost inevitably from Dawidek. And yeah, off the track for Dawidek. A big shame. Let's join our current pole sitter, see if he's got any more pace. I'm pretty sure that's going to disqualify going across there. I'm not seeing any notification, but he did really strongly cut that start. Good first sector, not the best. Not as fast as he's been. Like many drivers holding that 6th gear there through Ferradura. Oh, it's such a long wait. No, we have bailed out. We're not happy. We're not happy with this lap. So we'll follow along with Schender now, starting his outlap, finishing his outlap and starting his next attempt. 5 minutes left. Looked a little bit on the edge on the downshifts through to the center S's, but plenty of grip on the way out of Curva del Sol. Schender is very, very slightly under, so this is a competitive first sector. Plenty to fight for now. We'll watch along with Schender. I'm not a Ferrari fan myself, but the engine is sweet. things are looking really well hooked up for Shender. I suspect we do have the best setup today. Very smooth, got bags of grip coming in. Maybe a slightly hesitant steering, a little correction onto the final turn. Could be an early 8th gear selection for that little bit more traction. Pops in the pole time. Oh, fantastic stuff from Shender. I did mention I suspected he'd be a threat, and that proves to be true. So great lap, a 106.6 from Shender. I think that's possibly the fastest lap we've seen so far on this track in our Celeritas League. I'll follow along with Thod now. It does seem to be pretty stable at the top here, at the top of the timing list. I'm expecting a little bit more out of Storm. I'm certainly expecting more from Sir Gwyneth because of a terrific drive last Saturday. Thod comes up. I think he's going to bail here. This time isn't good enough, but he's going to need to get off the racing line. Has Jesse gone for a second lap? No, I think he's going to bail here. That's 1.3 seconds over, so yeah, I don't think that will be strong enough. Shaw's here, 0.037. There's a over rotation just after checking the sector time, so I suspect this is not going to be good for Shaw's on this lap. That will certainly cost him 3 or 4 tenths, I would have thought, in that over rotation around the axis. I think, yeah, he's bailed. He's bailed out. Checking with Dawidek again, coming up to strike. That Dawidek is super fast in the AlphaTauri. It did look slightly like he went too fast into the corner and couldn't quite get his foot down when he wanted to there out of the final turn, but hopefully this is good. Dawidek takes 3rd place with a 106.8. I feel there's a little bit more in that final corner for him. I really do, but a great lap from Dawidek with just one car in front of him on the grid. Let's see. So, great lap from Dawidek. How's Shaw's doing? Shaw's is touring right now. Who else is out there? We've got Lightning in the Alfa Romeo. We haven't seen the Alphas running yet. So where is Lightning going to go? My favourite livery of 2020 is the Alfa Romeo. That's almost a second slower, so I think that's probably not going to set the world alight with that lap. Shaw's is still touring. Let's check in with JXW in the Haas. He takes 5th through Ferradura. Very smooth through there. Stefano, Glider Scoop, Cohen. We may have lost these guys. One Blood has packed in as well. Hopefully we can recover you and get you back out on track, or at least ready for the race. Stefano, the best of the drivers that have left the session. No, JXW not happy with that lap at all. So it's back and forth again with Jesse and Shender. With Jesse here is further. So we've got Shender. There's some bits of front wing in the center S's. Be aware, any drivers listening in, some bits of front wing offline in the center S's. Shender coming to strike the first timing beam, and he's under the time again. Not enough to take pole just yet, but it's a great start to the lap. I feel that car may be slightly of a little bit of a distraction. So far, so good. Keeping it in 3rd. Just being bothered ever so slightly by the cars in front. I think they're doing as the best they can. This is a very short track. Yeah, great traction out of the final corner. Schender looking to try and take pole off Jesse as he screams up the hill. Yes, Schender takes pole with a 1:06.5.01. Let's see, what has Jesse got in response? Jesse's under the time in sector 1 as well. Again, back and forth with these guys. Terrific work. I'm sorry we lost Rob on the server, but let's stay with Jesse as he tries to respond to Schender with these tiny differences in time. He's under as well. Traction out of the... Oh dear me, I do think that's probably ruined the lap for Jesse. Schender, we'll see if he had enough, but that little overzealous use of the throttle. No, Jesse does take pole. Wow, I can't believe it. Absolutely incredible time and traction out of that final corner. That must be a difference in setup. He went from that slightly difficult take, but that was right at the death of the session. Jesse takes pole from Schender. We have a racing point on pole from a Ferrari. As you can see, Jesse takes pole, Schender in second. I think qualifying his best time on the softs. FedEx runner and teammate Dawidek in the AlphaTauri behind him. We have Thod, Waitsy, and hopefully Stefano can join us in the Haas in P7. By Gercho and Shorspen, 8th and 9th. We have Beetle, Lightning, Quinith, One Blood, JXW, Rafa, Lankovus, Storm back in 17th. Rob, Glidoscoop and Cohen, I think, had problems on the server. But it does look like everybody probably qualified best time on the softs. A really strong and entertaining start to that qualifying session. Okay, Schender telling me that he and Jesse should be teammates, but accidentally selected the wrong car at the start. So it should be that Jesse should be in a Ferrari, I believe, but we may have to live with the teams that we've got after round 1. Schender's commented on the times. How close? Yes, the times are terrifically close, but a 1:06.5 is a very, very strong time indeed. I really can't wait for this to get going. Brilliant stuff. It looks like it's overcast on the race. Has anybody seen the race weather prediction? Is there anything other than a dry race? Let me know on the YouTube chat if you can. Share the YouTube channel. Make sure that your online mates are watching along. So getting ready for the warm-up lap for everybody. Let's see. I'm hoping everybody can get to take the start. No, we've got FedEx runner and Thod have DSQ'd, so mechanicals for those guys. What a shame. At least they're in different teams and we haven't lost an entire team, but really sorry to see FedEx and Thod disappear. Has Jesse gone as well? Jesse's gone greyed out, and that's why we were staring at a tree for a few minutes there. That would be a continuation of the pole sitter curse that seems to be afflicting Celeritas eSports right now. We've lost Stefano as well. By the reading on the track, we've lost 5 of our 20 drivers in this warm-up formation lap. Can that be right? Wow. I really hope not. I really hope we can get you back, but it's not looking good, is it? No, it looks like we may well have lost our pole sitter yet again. Maybe Schender will be thinking it was a good thing to get second place. Stefano claiming somebody hit him and he span. We'll have to check that out after the event. Anyway, the final place car is going to get into position. The warm-up lap has been pretty slow, so our front row is going to be sitting still for quite a while. But I see the last Williams of Cohen coming into position. Hopefully we'll get started very soon. Smoke rising from the back of the cars. Five lights. It's lights out and go, go, go! Jesse tumbling down the times, but Waitsy and Lightning are right up there in the front. We have an Alfa Romeo taking the inside. Very, very nice move. Everybody, please be patient. No, we've seen one of the Racing Points tumbling down. That is Jesse tumbling down the list. Do we have Waitsy in front at the moment? Schender has a penalty already. Schender's on pole. We've got people all over the place going sideways at the start of the race. Let's try and avoid a safety car, everyone. FedEx runner, Waitsy and Shawspent. No, we've got Jesse going super slow. Jesse's car does take one of the drivers out of contention there. The VSC has been enacted. I don't think that was really Jesse's fault. I think that was possibly has just been his status at the time, because I still couldn't seem to watch him along. We have a VSC right now. We're riding along with third place Dawidek. Dawidek stayed out of trouble on that first lap. Watching the Delta. Yellow flags in operation. So our current status is Schender keeping the lead from Waitsy in the Alpha. We have Dawidek pitting early for tyres, I presume, unless he lost part of his front wing at all. Trying to take advantage of a cheap and short pit stop, but we're back to racing again. One blood here in fourth in the McLaren. We're going to get onto track so that we can see all the drivers running line astern there into the second straight. Right now it looks like Schender and FedEx runner vying for the lead. Schender has seemingly he's gained at the moment. Reading on the times, probably wrong, I think, with FedEx runner saying that they're in the pits. Schender driving around seemingly alone, with Waitsy 3.7 seconds behind him. I think it's just going to take a little bit of time to catch everything back up again here. Your winners out of the first few laps. Definitely JXW and Lancobus with 9 places up, as has Cohen from the back. Fastest lap with Waitsy at the moment. Looks like lots of people taking that early pit stop. Schender's pitted from the lead. Very interesting strategy, possibly going for that 33 lap hard, as our Division 2 driver Bacon says live on the chat. Yeah, possibly we're going for that super long second stint. Let's go down to Beetle, who's coming up. He's currently in third place, coming up behind One Blood in the McLaren, taking a wider line. He's got close attention behind him, so possibly he's part defending as well as trying to attack at the same time here. A very close battle between these 3 drivers for net second place right now. One Blood has got 10 places up from the start. Slightly wide from Beetle. Is that going to help the driver behind JXW as he looks to catch? No, the gaps have opened up. I'm going to head down to the grid and look at Storspen coming up behind the Mercedes here. Storspen with DRS enabled. It's going to get a double drag, but of course Rafa in front of him has the advantage. I think Shaw's is going to look patiently as Ninja takes that 6th place from Lancobus in the Ferrari. Compromise line for Lancobus. That's going to give the door open to Storspen, but he's going to sit there on the outside. Lancobus very fair, not driving him to the outside of the track. Schurzman taking one position, I believe, coming here into Curva del Sol. Yeah, Schurzman takes that place, as does Rafa. So unfortunately, in the course of 4 corners, Lancovas loses 2 places. Sad to see, but I'm pretty sure he's going to keep fighting hard. A little lock-up from Lancovas coming into the corner there. Let's have a look at who's on what tyres. Right, we've got JXW is on the hards, so favourable position for him. We saw lots of pit stops, but very few people on that 1 lap old tyres. Dawidek and Stefano were on softs. We have Schurzman screaming past Rafa. No, side-by-side battle for those guys. Here comes Schurz with another attack. Rafa takes to the middle of the track, but Schurzman has got the DRS. I think that's going to be a nice pass on the inside if he can just time his braking in line. Yep, Schurzman takes back that 6th place again. Let's watch and see if Rafa's got anything to fight back with in this tricky middle sector of the lap. Nothing doing here, but there's a lot of activity going on ahead of him as well. Apparently Schender's got a drive-through penalty. Thank you very much, Adam, for spotting that. That must have come up on screen while I was busy watching the track action. Rafa catching Schurzman. Schurzman, it looks to be catching Beetle. And ahead of them, there's plenty of activity on track. With Lightning coming up on the inside past the Haas of JXW. A pass on the inside. Is it a small lockup? But yeah, Lightning had the favourable line. Looks to probably get a better traction coming out of Curva del Sol. Yeah, I think that move is going to stick. So, great pass from Lightning for a podium position right now. Your current order on lap 6 is Waitsy, One Blood, Lightning, JXW, Beetle and Schurzman. Riding with Beetle, who has a view of what's going on ahead, but he's going to want to keep his eye on the track. Okay, Schender has served his drive-through. I can't imagine what happened there at the start to even deserve one, but yeah, very strange. We'll see perhaps in the Discord later what happens, so stay tuned. He is in a good position though. Having served a drive-through, I still think we need to look at his race pace. Very good racing so far. We've been pretty clean. Correct me if I'm wrong, and if you've seen something else. We're going to look at Cohen now, coming up behind our server owner Storm. Cohen's got a good drive out of this final corner, but it looks to be a defensive line from Storm. I think that might compromise him. I don't think that Cohen had the drive out of the final corner. Maybe Storm playing games a little bit of games there on these center S's, because that really cost Cohen. But Cohen is going to screen past on DRS. Yeah, he's put his car in a very good defensive position there against Storm, and Storm was not able to fight back. But I feel Storm probably will keep on fighting despite this lap. These medium tyres, they need to be careful on these medium tyres at the moment, otherwise we're going to risk too much deg. Looks to be some activity on track ahead of these guys with some lapped runners. There's FedEx just ceding position, paying attention to his blue flags and triggering, of course, a yellow flag on the way out. Here comes Storm up the hill. I think he's still close enough for DRS, so this will help gain back some of that dirty air time. Playing pretty tight games there with that pit lane entry. Let's see if he can get through these next 2 corners and get a better drive out of Curva del Sol. This feels good. Enough to catch, but perhaps not enough to pass. Cohen nervously taking a defensive line, wary of Storm behind. Storm perhaps slightly slower on exit there. Certainly wasn't pushing the limits. So treating these tyres very nice and carefully at this point in the race. Beetle in 5th, followed by following JXW, and ahead of them Shorspan. Shorspan now up to 3rd with a strong drive so far. We have difference in tyres with JXW on the hards right now. Adam saying he suspects that Shender may have jumped the start. We'll wait for confirmation on that. Yeah, a little lock up from JXW. The Renault here with Beetle is probably thinking, that's fantastic. He's going to ruin his drive out of Curva del Sol. It's not enough to get closer under DRS. So maybe it was too distracting for him. Some good battles. This is probably the closest battle right now, but I do see Lightning, Shender and Ninja Turtle behind them. Let's have a look down there. Yeah, we've got Shender very close behind Lightning, and watching with rapt attention is Rafa in the Mercedes. Currently we've got a pretty good race for Alpha, 1st and 6th. How is Shender going to be able to do this coming up the hill with Lightning? I think this is looking very close. Lightning's going to defend to the inside, it looks like. Squeezing him quite tight against the wall, but just leaving enough of a car space here. He's going to brake early, late. Broke far too late. And Shender cruising past, taking the normal racing line. So Shender cautiously taking Lightning, and it proved to be a smart decision. Rafa paying very close driving behind Lightning, thinking, okay, we've seen his defensive tactics once. We can be a little bit better at predicting what's going to happen next time. Rafa treating these softs quite gently, but he's been on them for quite a long time, so I don't blame him at all. So let's just have a look at who is leading in the pitted group. Dawidek is still your leading tyre changer. He is looking pretty strong in the race at the moment. 7 seconds behind the driver in front, with some big intervals in front of him as well. We've got lots of track limits penalties, it looks like. I'm not sure Rafa's got much to fight with at the moment, not driving particularly aggressively. Beetle though coming back up behind JXW. DRS is open. JXW feints a small defence, but gives room again. Very good driving from both drivers, staying side by side there through that turn 4. Super close, piling the pressure on JXW. Oh, very late on the brakes. He just saved it. We've got a Ferrari coming up on the outside. I don't think he could avoid touching him there. Just not quite leaving enough room, boys. Just not leaving enough room between each other. Lankovas currently here in 10th place, but let's look at Lightning and Rafa. Rafa looking to try to take that place. No, Rafa did take the place. Rafa up ahead of Lightning with... I'm confused here because we've got a Mercedes behind him. We've seen Lightning losing it on the inside there, but this time he timed it better, but unfortunately the Mercedes did get past. I'm not sure who that is. Is that Rafa ahead? So the two Mercedes next to each other, I think one of them is a lap down. That might well be Glider Scoop behind him, unlapping himself possibly after a pit stop. So JXW still 6/10 behind Shender. One Blood very, very close to the lead right now. One Blood behind Waitsy. They're on 11-lap-old softs. So these softs are coming to the end of their lifespan. Waitsy's got a lapping runner behind, in front of him, just distracting him here. I hope that Stefano's getting a blue flag. Very big gain from the McLaren there on into turn 1, but that's just completely upset his rhythm through turns 2 and 3. Waitsy armed with DRS because of that lapped runner ahead. A little rule I'd rather disagree with, that we can get DRS from a lap runner ahead, but that's the rule book we're playing with now. One Blood 4/10 here in second place behind Waitsy. They need to make sure their race pace is strong though. They can't spend too long battling each other because we've already had some early pitters. Leading one of those, I remind you, is Dawidek. So we have multiple riders with penalties and some without. We've got some squirrely work there on the curves. Yeah, I thought perhaps One Blood was shaping to get into the pits, so he's going to try and get that famous underlap from Waitsy. Waitsy knows now it's push time. One Blood is going to tumble down the order, and Shawspan has now got that nice clear track ahead of him. We'll watch One Blood in a minute. Where is he going to come out of the pits? Currently riding 6th, 7th, 8th. If he does come out behind Dawidek, that will be a big gain for Dawidek and a problem for One Blood. But One Blood now looks like he's going to be able to rejoin ahead of Cohen. So One Blood does keep that net first place, I feel, and he can start to put in the nice fast sector times. We'll chat about incidents later in the race, but yes, there is a dedicated section of the Discord server to submit your incident reports, and the stewards will make their decisions based on all available evidence that they have. Bear in mind that the broadcast can only watch one car at once, as I'm sure you all know. One Blood looking to get past Lightning here because he's really holding him up. Lightning does need to cede here. It's a dodgy thing, and One Blood gets a 3-second time penalty, just avoiding a lapped runner and using that white line on the pit lane entry. That's a risky place to put your car, because if the lap runner is attempting to come into the pits, that's a big problem for you. Waitsy continued through past the pits, so he's going for a slightly longer stint. Okay, here we have Shawspan in 3rd place. Strong race from Shawspan, strong race from Schender, but I think Schender's going to be heading into the pits again for a change of tyres if he made a drive-through at the early stage of the race. What's it going to take to break the pole sitter curse in Celeritas racing? So Shawspan 7/10 away, with JXW playing close attention behind. DRS for both cars. Ooh, Shawspan mind that apex. Searching for that early traction. It might be too much. Nice and close racing. It looks like Schender and Lightning are overtaking other cars coming out the pits, maybe here. Okay, Schender behind Dawidek after his pit stop. Schender on hards, Schender going to the end. It's lap 16. We're not halfway yet, but many of the pit stops have already happened. There's Dawidek trying to get past Lightning. I do think several drivers may have a case to plead against Lightning. Don't put your car there! Oh, that's a very brave jump in the gap. Schender showing no lack of bravery. but he now has to deal with Lightning, who is honestly a bit of a moving roadblock right now. Lightning, you are fighting for position, but we're going to cause incidents. Shender takes an unconventional attack there into the final corner, deals with him nice and quickly. That's decisive driving from Shender, and leaving Dawidek wishing he'd done similarly. Dawidek coming in the pits directly behind Lightning now, and Shender can get moving up. He gets past Waitsy, who's coming out of the pits. He gets past Shawspin in the pits, and we'll see where those guys come out, but it does look like Waitsy has lost out with that strategy call currently to One Blood with a penalty and hard tyres on, so he can push harder, but Waitsy has Shender in between him and One Blood. However, right at the front, JXW has a 10-second lead right now over Storm on same age tyres. So JXW sneaking into a really strong place right now with that gap, and Storm running a very long first stint as well. One Blood is coming up against Storm. They will have a big difference in tyres, so Storm probably won't put up too big a fight. Storm takes the centre of the track, and One Blood, it's too late to commit to an overtake, maybe on the next straight, I feel, but he didn't have great traction there out of Curva del Sol. Rafa picks up a penalty. One Blood chasing down Storm. That's a close battle on the field at the moment. I know there's a closer one downfield, but let's stick with this. This is a podium position right now, and One Blood is needing to dispatch with Storm pretty quickly or conserve tyres and fuel. Runs a little bit wide into Bico de Pato. Is this his opportunity to get past him on the next straight? He's going to need to get nice and close and get really strong traction. Perhaps change the line ever so slightly to avoid that dirty air. One Blood 7/10 back. I don't think it's going to happen on this straight unless Storm pits to the inside. Is it pit time? It's not pit time for Storm. Storm's going to look for a nice late change to softs, I believe. Lap 19, we're halfway through the race. One Blood closing to 3/10. Let's see, can he get past Storm? Storm is very strong out of Curva del Sol. And One Blood, perhaps a difference in setup is costing him top speed. He's not lacking grip on the corners, but that top speed, overspeed is proving tricky for him. Dawidek in 10th at the moment on his one lap old mediums, as is, and then we've got Shender and Waitsy and Shawspin looking very, very strong on fresh tyres, and they'll be chasing down this driver we're with right now, One Blood. Yellow flag in sector 3. That's just Jesse's ghost, or is it Jesse getting out of the way? Jesse is running, but yes, that looks to be a possible AI player. I'm not sure. Let us know if you've seen. Just a reminder, we did lose Stefano and FedEx runner from the race. Nice and patient through 2. Good traction from 3. But that top speed is a problem. It really is a problem. So hopefully One Blood is adjusting the strategy and just watching his deg and his fuel use. Shender just took 4th from Cohen. So Shender on the favourable tyres. Cohen likely didn't need to fight too hard. He's running a different strategy. I'm going to check out the penalty situation shortly. Okay, so Storm racing with 8 seconds of penalties. One Blood with 3. Waitsy also has 8. Most penalised driver is Thod with 11, appropriately in 11th place right now as well. Let's head downfield and have a look at Rob here in the McLaren, because he's paying very close mind to the back of Sir Gwyneth. These guys fighting hard for the lower positions. Okay, so very similar age of tyres, but they are on different tyres. So at this early stage, yeah, we're heading into the pits. Nothing doing to try and overtake Gwyneth, so Rob heads into the pits now. Let's see where that brings him out later on. Dawidek and Storm, our server owners, have found each other on track, so I'm really excited to see how these guys race with each other. They'll know who it is, and they'll be fighting harder than with anyone, I imagine. They wanted to be teammates, but maybe just so they could drive against each other. Okay, so Dawidek tight behind Storm. Storm has pitted, of course, and come out just ahead of Dawidek. Storm looking to make those soft tyres last pretty strong. He himself was saying yesterday on commentary that you can make the tyres last a really healthy long time on this track with some careful driving. So he won't want to fight too hard with Dawidek. Dawidek, that gap just easing out slightly now. Meanwhile, let me remind everyone, at the front, JXW still holding on to a 9+ second lead, but he has yet to pit. Or he's making these hards last a very long time. Of course, he has pitted, but maybe not. Let's keep an eye on those penalties. So Dawidek cruising around at the moment behind Storm, not attacking. It's equidistant. Storm in the middle of a Rafa and Dawidek sandwich. This is your closest battle on track. And I'll keep an eye on the drivers as we keep going through here. Lap 23 of 36. It does look like Storm has got a good run here on Rafa. Fighting each other right now on equal number of penalties. Storm is going to try and take the inside line. He's going to have to get him on the brakes if he gets him at all. Storm smooth on those brakes. Takes a little wheel of grass, leaving each other plenty of room, and Rafa, a fair drive from Rafa, giving enough space, maybe thinking I'm going to get him on the next straight. He does come back at him. Rafa coming up the inside of Storm. Storm gives him just the same amount of space, puts himself on the outside. Storm keeps the place on the outside of the track. Rafa, it's a little touch, but that was just a little touch between friends. No harm, no foul. Storm keeps that 7th place, and Dawidek watches on. Very keen attention, I'm sure, from Dawidek. How did Rafa defend? How did Rafa re-attack? It gives Dawidek lots of information for how to attack the Mercedes ahead. JXW now pits from the lead. We'll check in with him shortly and see where he comes out, but it will be probably somewhere around these drivers anyway. Here comes Dawidek on Rafa. He's got a really strong drive coming out of the final turn. Takes to the inside, Rafa sticks to the outside line. Small adjustment on the steering wheel while overtaking. That was cool as you like, and a little lock-up, but keeps that place. We'll check in with Rafa, but I do fear Rafa has not got quite enough grip to fight these two with. So progress for Storm, and 1 lap later progress for Dawidek. Dawidek can resume his cruise up the field just behind Storm, but maybe it's going to heat up a little bit later between those two. Yeah, it's close with Rafa and Storm. Sorry, close with Dawidek and Storm. Rob has a close fight with Lightning down there towards the tail end of the field. We are using Formula 1 points though, so no points outside of the top 10 for drivers, just bragging rights and finishing positions as a decider. Dawidek's got a nice strong drive again out of this final corner. Looks to have his setup favouring top speed. Storm, a little weave, letting him know, I know you're there, Dawidek. I know you're there. You're not going to catch me by surprise. Dawidek just nice and easy through that turn. Those little adjustments really seem to help him through the center S's. Comes to the inside, leaves it very late to break out from behind, but very, very smooth and a nice, simple overtake. He had so much overspeed, he was able to resume his normal line without problem. So good drive from Dawidek, and Storm's going to have to redouble his efforts to keep up with him, it looks like. Rafa's still watching behind. And behind Rafa is Cohen in the Williams, and very, very close. So it looks like Cohen's going to be attempting an overtake very, very soon. What have you got here, Cohen, in terms of traction? You've got a very good car for traction. So I think Cohen and Rafa are going to be side by side over the start-finish line. Takes to the outside, does Cohen. Rafa defending to the inside. It's clumsy from both of them into the first turn, but Rafa does keep that place, and yep, Cohen is going to redouble and fight again on the back straight. But no, he was compromised too much coming out of Curva del Sol to fight this time round, so perhaps next lap for him. Passing some lap traffic ahead of us on track. You can also see Storm getting nice and close to Dawidek again. JXW came out of the pits and has rejoined in 4th place without penalty. So a strong drive right now. I'm gonna I think it's time to head up to the front, is it not? Schender's just taken the lead. I had a feeling he was getting very close. So Schender's just taken the lead from One Blood. One Blood trying to fight back, but Schender, a nice smooth overtake. Yeah, Schender takes the lead. This is a pretty remarkable drive. Remember that Schender has served a drive-through penalty as well. So he's on hard tyres, he's got tyres to the end of the race, and he's actually caught after a drive-through. Is he that much better than everybody else? Is it just Brazil? Let's hope it's just Brazil, because that's a big statement if you can come through the field like that after a drive-through without a safety car. Remarkable. It doesn't look like One Blood's quite got enough to fight back to Schender. Schender's underlying pace is just really, really strong. So, yeah. Your current order on lap 27, just ticked over to 28, is Schender, One Blood, and JXW. Waitsy, Shorspen, we've got Beetle, Dawidek, Storm, Cohen and Rafa make out your top 10. Thod is in 11th, but some distance behind. Glider Scoop in the pits right now, pitting for softs. A big gap for him to make up on from 17th position. Riding with Storm now, and Rafa behind. So Storm maintaining station behind Dawidek. I imagine they're in a conservation setup right now. Storm does have 3 seconds of penalties, so he will have to pass Dawidek and some to stay ahead of him when the checkered flag waves. Cohen behind Storm has extra penalties. Up at the front, One Blood has a 3 second, and that will put him behind JXW with the current interval. So JXW won't know quite the level of penalties for One Blood. Let's watch Storm and Dawidek. Storm coming up behind them. It looks like a lap car ahead. I think that's too close for the Renault of Beetle. Thanks for helping out each other on the chat there, guys. really useful. A reminder, this is Division 1, Race 1 of the season, so we'll have our automatic championship standings immediately, but it's all to play for, and there's still many races left in this season. So it's a good beginning of the season, but there's still lots of opportunity to make up ground. In terms of a team, we've got a Ferrari in the lead and 11th, so just the leader points there. We've got a McLaren in 2nd and 13th, but it does look like to me that the Haas will be taking that 2nd place at the moment, and the other Haas retired. Waitsy in the Ferrari, his teammate Lightning is in 16th, so a real split of team standings. There's no clear outright team winner at the moment at all. Really quite stable here between Storm. Their pace, Storm and Dowdek, is very similar. But we have JXW coming up behind One Blood. He'll know there's a penalty, and he'll know that it's at least 3 seconds, so he can probably relax unless he feels like he's got the pace to attack and catch Shender. So he'll know that it's worth sticking behind here and seeing where he can get to. Yep, catching on the straight here. He's definitely got a little bit of overspeed. Lightning causing a slight blockage there, a lockup. Yeah, this is several times now I've seen Lightning. That was fair. That was pretty fair. It was just unfortunate, I think, the way that JXW caught him versus how One Blood caught him. But JXW has lost a little bit of time to One Blood in that exchange. There we go, though. Let's have a look at our... Where have we got our fastest lap? So currently, fastest lap is Glider Scoop, way down in 17th place. But JXW has a strong opportunity to take the fastest lap, as does Thod and Quineth. Those guys pitting for soft tyres at the end of the race. Glider Scoop puts in another fastest lap, it looks like, so driving aggressively. I think this might be the chance here for JXW. Brings up the inside. It was a mistake coming out of the final turn for One Blood. JXW locks up on the way in, but that's fast enough, it's clear enough to take that 2nd place on the track. His next target, of course, is the hard-tired Shod Shender. So we'll see how he gets through there. I don't think that One Blood's going to be able to fight back. I think his tyres haven't got the response on those 7-lap-old softs of the car ahead. JXW has picked up a minor penalty, no worse than the car behind him, but that's really going to hurt him in his battle to try and catch Shender. So currently that battle is just over 4 seconds between the two of them, but that's a big ask. 4 seconds plus 3 seconds plus an overtake to get to the end against a driver the quality and calibre of Shender. Let's keep an eye on that. Waitsy has 8 seconds of penalties, and that's going to drop him down potentially 2 places once the checkered flag rolls. Shorespen in 5th, Beetle in 4th. Beetle in 6th. Back down in the bottom of the points order, points paying positions. Cohen is catching Storm, and Storm has let Dowdek get away a little bit now. 2 seconds the gap ahead of Storm, and only 3/10 here for Cohen. Strong, experienced drivers here, Cohen, Storm and Dowdek. They know what's up. They know how to drive with skill and patience and good track positioning. This is the tightest battle on screen at the moment. keep an eye on those penalties, because Cohen is going to lose back out to Storm, even if he passes him, I fear. But we'll stay with them and see if we can see a good pass anyway. So Gwyneth, help us learn at the end of the race, how did you get 12 seconds of penalties? What went on there, and especially after a pit stop? So what's been the problem for you during this race? Because that's very different to what we saw last week. Cohen coming up the inside here of Storm, and it looks like he's got enough overspeed. They are side by side. No, Storm decided, I'm going to take a slightly late braking and go around the outside of you. Cohen thinking, no, I'm going to come back again at you with the DRS. Gets the inside. I fear this is the end of this battle now. Cohen smoothly and controlled takes that place, moving him up to 8th on track, but of course he's going to be dropping down the field if he can't make up some pretty rapid progress over the next 2 laps. It's lap 34, we're almost at the end. JXW hasn't been able to make a lot of progress on Schender. Schender probably driving and watching the gap behind, conserving deg, and just matching the driver behind, doing that really smooth race management. Fastest lap still sitting here with Glider Scoop, 108.6, not far off the qualifying times. Everybody else quite a bit slower, apart from maybe Thod. So Schender on his penultimate lap at the moment. We just picked up another penalty for somebody, but Schender driving without penalty, so is Dawidek, Lankovas, Rob and Lightning. As we come up to start the final lap, it looks to be something that didn't happen in real life, but a potential win in F1 2020 in a Ferrari for Schender. Schender just managing all the temperatures, keeping an eye on all the measurements he can keep an eye on. His fuel, his tyre deg, engine. This really, I hope, makes up for the mechanical he had last week, showing that he's really got some serious pace. Schender has just popped in the fastest lap. It's tight, someone could take this back, but Schender on the penultimate lap has just taken the fastest lap of the race. So really, in hard tyres, in old aging hard tyres, he's got enough left, enough raw pace to take that fastest lap. He's coming up to the end of the lap now. Schender, as I've said before, putting down a marker to the rest of the field. Crowd on their feet. Schender coming up to the end, and Schender takes your Brazilian Grand Prix race win. Round 1 goes to Schender. Behind him, JXW, strong race in the Haas in 2nd place. One Blood in 3rd on the track, and Waitsy crosses the line in 4th. I feel we may have a difference there with the penalties. Shawspun in 5th. Beetle takes 6th place. Dawadak takes back that 6th place, of course, with the penalty delta. Beetle drops to 7th. We have Storm coming in 8th place. Cohen in 9th on track, and Rafa in 10th with the final point. Then we see Lankovas, Schender's teammate, in 11th. Schender did keep that fastest lap, so maximum points for Schender. By Gerko coming up to take 12th place, crosses the line. Thod, with 9 seconds of penalties, is going to take 13th on track. But where is Rob? No, Rob's going to take that 13th with that penalty difference. But that's the end of race 1 for Celeritas. We see Schender taking that fantastic win, and driver of the day goes to JXW. So yeah, tremendous pace. I don't know if Schender was driving angry. We'll try and find out in the chat Reminder to our podium sitters. Shenda lifts the trophy for Ferrari. A reminder to our podium sitters, if possible, we'd love to have a chat with you on audio after the race. We'll try and get that organised as quickly as possible, but do share your party audio with us so that everybody can hear your results. Great drive from our top three. So I ran you through this, but on two-stop, soft hard was Shenda, JXW in the opposite strategy, One Blood, Waitsy, Shorspen, Dowdek, Beetle, Storm, Cohen, Rafa, Lankovus outside the top 10, then Baihierko, Rob, Thod, Glider Scoop, Lightning, Quinith, last week's very strong racer Quinith coming in 17th, Jesse in 18th, retired mid-race or very close to the start as our pole sitter yet again, and then DNF was Stefano and FedEx runner. JXW started 14th. He's a happy driver on the comments. So yeah, a really good performance and congratulations to you there. Let me just take a screenshot because we might want to be looking at that shortly. Brilliant stuff. Okay, let me see if I can start a party, and I'm going to invite Shenda along. Stick with us. I know that on screen there's nothing happening on and it's just a blue screen of death, but yeah, I'm going to try and get our drivers on the line. So yeah, we will try and get anybody in the chat that can't get our chat going, and let me see what else. Who else have we got? A great first race there for everybody. Really excellent driving. Quite a few track limit penalties through the race. Hopefully that's going to serve as notice to everybody. It's a tricky situation to keep our Shores, are you around? Sorry to hear that, JXW, but yeah, hopefully we can talk to you soon. Shores, if you can talk, let me know, and I'll just say hi when you're with us. Calling Shores on the party. Quinn, I'll come to you if possible, mate. Say hi to everybody, Shores, if you can. I'm not hearing from anybody at the moment, sadly. No, I'm gonna I'm gonna go with Quinn in a second, Shaw's, if you can't get in touch. Ah, Shaw's, are you with us? Hey, good to hear from you. How did you get on in the race? How was it for you? Yeah, I've got you now. Hi, Shaw's. How did you get on? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. But you made it plenty of places as you came through the field. Any kind of highlights, any good battles you can remember? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, but your pace looked good. So did you track? Were you tracking what Storm was doing? Were you able to have a voice chat or anything as you went through the field together? Awesome, awesome. Well, yeah, a strong drive. It's a shame about those penalties, but you're showing good resilience and determination to keep fighting through the field. We look forward to seeing what you can do in Russia. What's that track like for you in general? No. hmm Yeah, we will see indeed. Yeah, so thanks for joining us in the party, Shores, and we look forward to seeing you back on track next week. Thanks a lot, man. Cheers. Um, Quinn, I tried to add you to the party. Did you get the invite? Can you join us? You are here. Can you join us on chat there, Quinn? Say hey when you're here. Hey, how are you? Yeah. What was it? P14? P12 in the end. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What was going on for you? Yeah. hmm Right. Right. Yeah. We saw somebody run 33 laps on the hards yesterday, but they must have been nursing them right from the start. So, yeah, it's not favourable, but you tried to make the best of a bad situation. It sounds like, yeah. So yeah, it was a high point last week. Perhaps hopefully that's your season low out the way today, and we'll look for a better result next week, eh? Sweet, excellent. Have you been practicing during the week much? Yeah, right. Right, yeah, yeah, definitely. But how do you feel about the next track coming up? How do you feel about Russia? Yep. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Let's hope for better result next time. Something a bit more like you got in the shakedown event. How you finding the league experience at the moment? Great. Well, no, that's great to hear. I'm not doing a lot, but I know I know Storm's doing an awful lot, and Dawidek in the background also working really hard. So, yeah, they've done all the legwork to set it up. I'm just the guy at the end of the microphone at the moment. But yeah, yeah, looking forward to the next race, and yeah, well done for persisting with us. Thanks for not quitting out early, and yeah, we hope to see some more action from you next time. Good stuff. Great to talk to you, Quinn. Thanks a lot, man. See you later. Okay, anybody else fancy a chat at the end? I contacted Storm to get his take on it. But if there's anybody else around, we'll have a chat. Let me know. Failing that, maybe Storm, can you fancy picking up, and we'll get a quick review before we say goodbye to everybody. Looks like everyone's gone for their comfort breaks. Um, how about Jesse? I'd love to hear from Jesse if he's still online, still around. Um, Failing that, we'll say goodbye, and we'll catch you all later down the next race in Russia. A couple more minutes I'll give to Storm and Dawidek possibly to check in. But a fun race. These 50% races really go very fast. Keep chatting on the ideas. I'll try and prepare a video, some highlights. If you've got alternate angles, if you've got little clips of something that went down, share them in the Discord, because I'll try and add them into the main highlights video. It does add an extra layer of depth there. It doesn't look like anybody is set up and ready to chat, so I'm going to end the party pretty soon if I don't hear from anyone. Good to see everybody on the live chat, and we'll see you all in the Discord, and we'll see you next, of course, on the next race day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with us. Great drives all around, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks, everybody.